typically, we're in peak leasing season, typically, April from June. And usually from that period, it's like a step up of increase in demand. And when I saw the April numbers coming back a little bit weaker, does that seem like that sentiment right now? I'm just curious if you have any thoughts on, why that would be, because, demand has been strong. We're getting over a lot of these supply waves. But when I asked myself, what was going on in April? Well, we had, Liberation Day tariffs and, general kind of economic uncertainty. And as wild as it seems that renters may be holding off on decision based on kind of macroeconomic, questions, like tariffs, we saw in the pandemic as well, when there was uncertainty, there was less traffic and people, stopped making some of those large financial decisions. It's just happened, but I'm just curious if you have any takes on kind of where we are so far in 2025 in terms of demand.
Sentiment's always mattered, but calling a spade, we live in a connected world more so than we ever have before. And I really think that connectivity, that, just the frequency and the inundation of news, whether good or bad, plays a role psychologically on how we behave. And, economics is as much behavioral as it is anything else. So sentiment's a good example. And I do think, getting now to the question, I do think declining sentiment resulted in a softer April than many expected. I haven't seen the May stats yet. We're 20 days through May. So I'll be curious to see what May yields. But I think sentiment is there's a lot of let's wait and see happening among renters. I do also think too, though, that especially over the past couple years, we've seen that it's becoming less frequent. I won't say less common because it's still the most common lease term, but it's becoming less frequent that renters will sign the traditional 12-month lease term. Operators are saying, hey, if you want to sign a 13-month lease term, then you'll actually get a little bit of a discount on your rent. It'll prorate a concession that's being offered perhaps, so it's a little bit easier for the property to absorb. But nevertheless, the fact of the matter is we've kind of seen a disruption in that typical seasonality. Where, to your point, April through June is still the peak, but it's less of a peak than it was many years ago.